Good afternoon, it's Thursday, November 8. I'm Herman Green with your midday news. A special welcome if you're watching online at onespotmedia.com. More bloodshed in Westmoreland this morning as 3 brothers and a woman were gunned down in their homes in Monsieur Meadows in Little London. The siblings have been identified as 23-year-old Shavane Humes, 29-year-old Howard Humes, and 33-year-old Paulton Humes. 25-year-old Kenesha Wilson was also killed. A 5-year-old boy escaped injury. Now, the incident occurred sometime after 1 o'clock this morning. Head of the Westmoreland Police, Superintendent Gary McKenzie, says a police team was on patrol when they heard explosions coming from the housing scheme. Upon investigating, they saw 3 one-bedroom houses with their front doors open. The bodies of the 4 individuals were found inside. No motive has been established for the attack. Superintendent McKenzie commented that the community, which largely consists of former sugar workers, is usually peaceful. He says one of the brothers was released from prison a year ago. Meanwhile, a drive-by shooting at toll gate in Clarendon on Wednesday has left 1 woman dead. The deceased has been identified as 45-year-old Claudia Thompson, a taxi driver in the parish. Reports are that the woman was traveling along Tollgate Main Road when she stopped at a tire shop. Moments later, a car drove up and a man opened fire at her. She was taken to the Maypen Hospital where she was pronounced dead. The relative of the deceased, who did not wish to give his name, is speaking out.
Well, me there come here yesterday, shoot my sister and me just come and trust me. I know that this killing will go on definitely. You can show definitely say this is a contract killing. This is no buck-up killing. This is a contract killing. But we have to leave this to the police. We have nothing to do with it. We only sad, so my sister gone this away.
In the meantime, Councillor for the Yorktown Division, Ufel Purcell, is again calling for the crime situation in the parish to be addressed urgently.
I'm calling on the young people and those who are carrying the guns. Please stop it. It cannot contain. We cannot allow the citizen to be taken out of society like this. It is unbearable to even your own family. So I'm calling on each and every one who's thinking of doing these things to stop it. It cannot continue. But I'm saying, in this time, this young lady is somebody who have run taxi for many, many years in the Ebony Park, Tollgate, Maypen era. And I am really, really concerned about how she has lost her life.
A St. Elizabeth man who was accused of sexually touching on Wednesday pleaded guilty to the lesser charge of indecent assault. The accused pleaded guilty to assaulting his daughter in 2016. It was reported that in 2016, the man who was in the state of intoxication touched his teenage daughter inappropriately while exposing himself. The matter was reported to the Newmarket Police in the parish by a relative of the child, and her father subsequently taken into custody and charged. Now, yesterday when he appeared in court, he pleaded guilty to indecent assault. He was also reprimanded by the court for his frequent attendance at court in a semi-state of intoxication. Following his guilty plea, the court ordered a social inquiry report to be made ready in time for his sentencing date of December 5. On the heels of concerns from the parliamentary opposition that the energy sector is being neglected by the government, the PNP's spokesman on technology, Julian Robinson, is also blasting the Prime Minister, suggesting that the technology sector is also being neglected. At a press conference on Wednesday, opposition spokesman on energy, Philip Paulwell, listed several issues in the energy sector, suggesting that the Prime Minister is distracted by the number of portfolios under his office. For Julian Robinson, the data protection concerns surrounding the National Identification System, NIDS, is one indication that the Technology Ministry is also failing because of neglect.
Passed before the Data Protection Act. And the only reason data protection has not been passed is because there is no leadership in the ministry. So we will continue to apply pressure to the government to give the appropriate attention to this plus the other legislative areas that we have identified. And I think the question must be asked of the Prime Minister, what is the reason he's delaying appointing a minister in this area? What could be the reason? None of us know.
Residents in a section of Westmoreland are raising concerns over a bridge leading to their community. They say the bridge has been in a dilapidated condition for years, and despite the representatives knowing about it, it seems nothing will be done to rectify the issue. TVJ's O'Shane Masters has their story.
A disaster waiting to happen. This is the bridge leading to Paradise Westmoreland, which is rapidly deteriorating. Residents are concerned as the bridge is used by both pedestrians and vehicular traffic of varying sizes. They are upset as they say the bridge has been deteriorating rapidly, breaking away over 2 years, and no attention has been given to the issue. Some residents say, considering the current state, the bridge which was built years ago needs to go.
It do it time now. Officer are dead.
Hence, this question of concern to the Andrew Holness-led government.
Me no know government had them wait till accident happen and somebody dead with the bridge.
Another resident is calling for decisive action to be taken.
Close the road or fix the bridge before somebody dead. Please, I'm asking you.
We have made a decision to close this bridge, and we are now in the process of rehabilitating the alternate routes.
During the period of closure, the alternate routes to be used are the Sweet River and Hatfield routes. Community Relations Officer for the NWA Western Region, Janelle Ricketts, told TVJ News that the damage assessment was also carried out.
And we are now in the process of identifying funds to facilitate the rehabilitation of this critical section of roadway.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
9 tourists, along with the driver of their Toyota Coaster tour bus, were hospitalized following a motor vehicle crash along the Luana Main Road in St. Elizabeth. The crash happened yesterday afternoon. Reports are that about 4:30, the tour bus with the tourists aboard was traveling towards Montego Bay, St. James, when it collided with a tractor trailer. The trailer was traveling from Brompton, heading towards Middle Quarters in the parish. At least one of the tourists sustained serious injuries as he was pinned in the bus and had to be rescued by firefighters. Now, checks this morning revealed that 7 of the tourists had been treated and released from the Black River Hospital. However, 2 of the tourists, as well as the bus driver, remain hospitalized. Their conditions are considered stable, but they are to be transferred to another facility for treatment. The Black River Police, along with members of the Accident Reconstruction Unit, are trying to ascertain how the crash occurred. Paternity leave for new fathers in Jamaica. That idea will be up for discussion again later this month. That's the word from the Gender Affairs Bureau.
We've had consultations around it, and we have done research on the issue through the Jamaica Civil Service Association. And at this point, we wanted to produce and present the findings to critical mass on November 19 and have conversations around it, to have the voices of the men, to have them speak specifically about how they think paternity leave will affect them, whether they think it is relevant, how should it be nuanced. In some spaces, persons think it should be a part of the Maternity Leave Act. But a lot of men we have spoken to would not want to have that. They want a separate policy.
Acting Senior Director for Gender Affairs in the Bureau, Sharon Cockburn-Robinson, was speaking at a GIS think tank session on Wednesday. The Jamaica Civil Service Association, JCSA, earlier this year sought the intervention of Prime Minister Andrew Holness to help fast-track the introduction of paternity leave in the country. According to a UNICEF report done, which was carried out in 2017, paternity leave could improve fatherhood in Jamaica. It further pointed out if more fathers in Jamaica got paternity leave, maybe then they would be around for longer periods of their children's lives. Currently, Jamaica's Maternity Leave Act of 1979 grants pregnant women leave with pay, protection from dismissal on the grounds of pregnancy, and the right to return to work after giving birth. But trade unions have also been pushing for a period of absence from work for fathers after the birth of their children, a matter that President of the JCSA, O'Neill Grant, says has been explored by the Labour Market Reform Committee. The Ministry of Local Government is assuring the public that equipping the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, with the necessary resources for the timely collection of garbage remains a priority. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie says discussions are taking place with the Finance Ministry to provide more funding to the NSWMA to address some of the challenges it continues to face. TVJ Shamela Pullen reports.
The issue of regular garbage collection has been plaguing the society for a long time. Oftentimes, citizens blame the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, for not doing its job properly. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie says the NSWMA requires a lot more support. He says it's why his ministry has turned to the Ministry of Finance for assistance.
I am happy to announce that following detailed discussion with the Ministry of Finance, a team from the ministry and the National Solid Waste Management Authority has been engaging the Ministry of Finance, and I know they'll be successful in getting more funding.
3 new trucks will be added to the fleet at the NSWMA, with more to come before the end of the year. Mr. McKenzie says this is in an effort to have a garbage-free Christmas.
It is not left to the entity alone to make that happen, but it is also the role that the citizens of this country will play during the period that will help to minimize the level of garbage that will be accumulated.
Meanwhile, Mr. McKenzie is reminding the business community that by law, it is a requirement for them to make their own arrangements to dispose of their garbage. He says especially for this Christmas holiday, he will be taking a zero-tolerance approach.
So those persons who accumulate commercial garbage and use the facilities provided by the National Solid Waste Management Authority to dispose of their garbage, we are taking a zero-tolerance approach this Christmas.
Shamela Pullen, TVJ News.
We go down to international news as another mass shooting in the United States has left a number of people dead, including a deputy sheriff on Wednesday night. The shooting took place at a crowded country and western bar in Thousand Oaks, California. The details from the CNN.
If you're hearing gunshots fired, one person advising there's a subject inside shooting.
Shortly before midnight in Thousand Oaks, California, a man armed with a gun entered the Borderline Bar and Grill.
473, we got multiple people down. We need a lot of ambulances fire.
In the hours immediately after the shooting, loved ones desperately seek answers.
I am very emotional right now. This is my firstborn son, and it's tough.
Jason Kaufman doesn't know where his son is.
Cody is a tough kid. What I'm scared of is Cody went towards the action and not away from the action.
The bar was hosting a college country night and it was packed with college students.
So then our friends got the bar stools and they started slamming it against the window so we could get out. That's how we were able to get out. They broke the window.
At least a dozen people were killed, including Sheriff's Deputy Ron Hellis, who was one of the first to respond.
Gave his all, and tonight, as I told his wife, he died a hero because he went in to save lives, to save other people.
We go down to news and sports. The Ministry of Sports says it's looking at next month for the official celebration of the Reggae Girls' historic qualification to the FIFA Women's World Cup. Simon Preston reports.
October 17, 2018 is a date that will be remembered forever, as it was the day the Reggae Girls became the first Caribbean team to qualify for a FIFA Women's World Cup. With this accomplishment, the Ministry of Sport is in talks with the Jamaica Football Federation to get all 20 players who competed in the CONCACAF Women's Championship on the island for a celebration. Minister Grange gave an idea of when this will be.
We're looking at celebration possibly in December, and it will be over a weekend span. We're looking at a motorcade tour to certain locations in Kingston and St. Andrew and St. Catherine. We're looking at visits outside of the KMA as well.
Minister Grange said more details would be coming in a press release regarding the exact dates for the celebration. Meanwhile, head coach of the senior reggae girls, Hugh Menzies, is grateful for the attention the girls will receive later this year.
They've been begging, what is Jamaica going to do for us? So, you know, with this meeting with the minister, it's going to be an enlightenment for them when we get back to them and say, hey, this is what's planned, so they can get involved with their communities, their families, and, you know, have a brilliant holiday before they get back into the nick of things.
Menzies is hopeful the qualification will inspire young girls in Jamaica to progress forward with football.
Creates an awareness for our young girls to look up to these players and then get something in place to help develop a league. That 3 months is not enough. Now we need to sit down and say, let's look at 8 months, because we have the talent here. We have the talent. We just have to create an infrastructure that's going to help matriculate that talent moving forward. But
President of the Jamaica Football Federation, Michael Ricketts, agrees.
Football, and both male and female football, can be that change to effect as part of nation building, to inspire some young person, whether male or female, to just change your focus. And I want to implore the powers at be that here's an opportunity to use these young ladies, like I've said, for the agent for social change in this country.
Ricketts also has high expectations of the team to succeed in France.
I do believe that these girls will not just go to France because we are qualified for the World Cup. We're going to be competitive. We're going to beat some teams. And again, we're going to make this country very proud.
Reporting for TVJ Sports, I'm Simon Preston.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Herman Green. Remember, we have the primetime news package at 7. On behalf of the news, sports, and production teams, good afternoon.